The NBA's got a ratings problem and a lot of people say it's the rules. Everyone plays the same way. Layups and threes, great. They need big changes. I'm talking if a coach gets a technical foul, the other coach has to take the free throw. Yeah, JJ Redick is now the most valuable coach in the NBA. No, obviously, I'm kidding. But what are some realistic rule changes to fix the league? Well, we'll break down realistic rules, less realistic, and crazy changes, like the coach free throw idea, only crazier. The problem is teams have perfected NBA offense. They're all the same. Ever notice that every year we hear, oh, a new #1 offense of all time? And the first time I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so impressive. 2019 Warriors. 5 years later, they look like a high school team. How is this possible? 9 of the 10 best offenses all time have come the last 2 years. Something's wrong with that. The worst part, even if you don't want to play this way, you have to. No one hates it more than Greg Popovich. Dude literally clowns the modern NBA.
I'm just hoping that the league ends up with a 4-point shot or a 5-point shot so we can make it a real circus. And it'll be a different sport. It won't even be basketball. It'll just be a bunch of crap.
And we love Pop for keeping it real, but even his teams play modern basketball. I mean, look at Wemby taking 9 threes a game this year. You think Pop likes that? No, he doesn't have a choice because people figured out shooting 33.3% from deep is the same as 50% from 2. Well, league average from 3 is 36%, so let's just shoot all threes. Oh, and to increase 2-point percentage, make them all layups, the most efficient 2-point shot. So now it's all layups and threes. But what if the NBA changed the rules? What would that even look like? So much basketball going on this week, and I'm having so much fun with Underdog. I play higher or lower. All I gotta do is pick higher or lower and stats of my favorite players, whatever games I'm gonna watch that day during the holidays. I sit back with my family, got a little action on the game. I love it. Win a little cash or a lot with their new game streaks. If you just stack 11 in a row, you can 1,000x your money. Now, these are my 2 picks for today. First up is Mikal Bridges, lower on his PRAs. Then Ben Mathurin, lower on his points. And best of luck if you were tailing those picks. If you only like one of my picks, use my promo code AMHOOPS because you get a special free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Make sure you check out this map to see if Underdog's available in your area. Locations like California, Texas, or Florida with champions. And again, that promo code is AMHOOPS. Can you believe baseball used to look like this? Analytics said, hey, some hitters will pull the ball always to this side, so everyone just stand over there. It was the smart way to play, but it was so boring. There were no hits anymore. So it turned into just strikeouts and home runs, strikeouts and home runs, just like the NBA. So MLB changed the rules so you can't infield shift anymore. Analytics hates that. They're like, well, that's a dumb way to play, but it's good for business. Fans love it. The NFL had something called the tush push last year where players could push the quarterback for like 1 yard, and it worked so well the NFL talked about banning it. I mean, imagine if analytics loved the Hail Mary pass too. Football was only Hail Marys and tush push. It would be so boring, but teams would have to play that way because it works. So what can the NBA do now? Well, rule changes come in 3 levels: realistic, less realistic, and insane. Let's start with realistic. All they have to do is play mostly FIBA-style basketball. In the NBA, defensive players are not allowed to be in the paint more than 3 seconds unless they're actively guarding someone. This does not exist in FIBA. That means players can camp out in the lane. Remember when Luka said that it's harder to score in Europe than the NBA? He wasn't talking about talent, he was talking about the rules. Luka once said, since Rudy Gobert can't just chill in the paint, that's an extra 10 points a game for me right there. But is it boring? No, teams will be forced to get more creative on offense. Also, FIBA allows the hand check. The NBA got away with that in 2004, so you can't even touch a player anymore. Just look at how physical basketball used to be. A ton of contact away from the ball, then when it gets under the basket, it was like a wrestling match and no foul. Players like James Harden are foul baiting and it looks ridiculous. Another realistic tweak is travels. For years, guys have been getting away with 3, 4, 5 step travels. You can blame 2 things for this: the gather, where steps don't count until you complete your dribble, like Ja here puts 2 hands on the ball, now it counts. And off the catch. Look at LeBron catch it, and then before he dribbles, he can get off 5 steps, no problem. All of these changes would make it tougher to score, and it would force creativity. But what about less realistic changes? Here's where it really gets fun. A 4-point line gets talked about, but honestly, I think that would make the problem even worse. So what about just killing the corner 3? Which sounds kind of minor, but corner 3s are the most evil shot in the league. They epitomize what's wrong with the game. Why? Because an above break 3 is 23 feet 9 inches. A corner 3 is just 22 feet from the basket. So you get the same points for a shot that's 2 feet closer? That's dumb. Now everybody collapses the defense, kicks it out for a corner 3. So why not have the line look like this, or make it longer and look like this? There's a lot less room to take 3s, so the game looks different. Or what about having dunks worth 3 points? Can you imagine if a guy got a dunk to win the game? 10 seconds left, you know your team needs a dunk or a 3? How exciting would it be to see Anthony Edwards slam on some dude to win the game? My least favorite play is the stupid step back 3 to lose. This will be awesome. Next less realistic rule is having 2-pointers worth 3 and 3-pointers worth 4, which at first sounds dumb. Like I thought we were going for less scoring, right? But this hurts the value of long shots. Right now, 3s are worth 50% more than 2s. That is huge. No wonder they take so many. But a 4-pointer over 3 is just a 33% increase. It takes away the power of the long ball. One last change before we get to the really crazy rules is substitutions. In hockey, look at how they do it. On the left there, these guys are just subbing into the flow of the game. It leads to a shot on goal. How cool would it be if on a fast break, Steph Curry can suddenly come into the game and hit a bomb in transition? You would never know when it's coming. Maybe the worst part about basketball is all the breaks in the action that take forever. But what about crazy rule changes? Well, you already heard about the awesome coach free throw rule. But what about instead of overtime, each team picks its best guy for one-on-one? I would literally switch over to watch every single overtime. Anthony Edwards against Kevin Durant. Back in the late 90s, Kobe against MJ. But what if Phil Jackson chose Shaq against MJ? By the way, this would just be for the regular season, okay? Not the playoffs, obviously that's too important. There's too many regular season games anyway. But the next rule, every team gets to draw their own 3-point line. So like in San Antonio, they don't even have a 3-point line. Bring it back to the 1960s. In San Francisco, the line is near the logo. This is like baseball, where every park is unique and different. It brings a different feel. A home run in Boston is 22 feet shorter than a home run in Detroit. Teams also put together their rosters with this in mind. Also, you gotta lock in your line before the season and you cannot change it. How exciting would it be? Like, I wonder what my team's line is gonna be this year. And it would be viral. Like, did you see what the Lakers did with their line? But speaking of 82 games, I do not think that that's the problem at all. Like, even when the NBA was its most popular with Michael Jordan, it was an 82-game regular season. We don't want less basketball. We just want it to be more exciting and unique. That is why some change is needed. But actually, I don't think the style of play is the biggest issue at all. I had to look at all the reasons people say that NBA ratings are down, and I think it's down to just one thing. Fix this one problem, the NBA is 10 times more exciting. And it's got nothing to do with shooting less 3s.